Hello, my lovely fifth graders. Welcome to our English class. The outcomes of this class after this presentation, you are supposed to be able to 1. Use the past continuous correctly. 2. Use the past continuous with the simple past in one sentence. 3. Use to correctly in sentences and questions. Now we are going to work with the workbook. First of all, we are going to discuss the past continuous with a simple past from page 30 to 31 in your grammar book. And 2, we are going to discuss use to in your grammar book from page 32 till page 34. So follow up in your box, please. The first thing that we are going to start talking about is the simple past. We discussed the simple past at the beginning of the semester, so today we are going to make a quick revision for the simple past. Let's take a look at these examples. Number 1, I went to school yesterday. 2, I watched a film last week. 3, I didn't watch a new film last week. So here we have examples. We are talking about actions that happened in the past and finished. So in these examples, we can understand that we are talking about things happened in the past and finished. Pay attention that we used verb to in all sentences, and when we used didn't, the verb became, or we used the verb in its infinitive form, which is watch. So let's take a look at the structure. Usage, we use the simple past, as we said before, to talk about an action that happened and finished in the past. It happened and finished in the past. So let's take a look at the structure. If we are talking about an affirmative sentence, as we used to, a sentence starts with a subject, then we have verb and the complement. In the case of simple past, we are going to use verb to, okay? So in the affirmative sentence, we will have subject, verb to, plus the complement. An example, she saw her friends yesterday. I used saw, which is verb to, because we are talking about an action that happened in the past and finished. If we want to add not to the sentence, we want to change it into a negative sentence, we are going to use a helping verb, which is did. So the sentence will be, the structure of the sentence will be subject plus didn't, and pay attention that we are going to use the infinitive form of the verb. I told you before that didn't is a selfish word. It does not allow any word to be in the past except her. So she is going to change the verb into its infinitive form. So we have subject, didn't, infinitive form of the verb plus the complement. Let's take a look at the example. She didn't see. She didn't see. Pay attention that I use the infinitive form of the verb with did. She didn't see her friends yesterday. Now what about the questions, interrogative? If I want to change a sentence in the simple past into a question, I must use did, okay? So the question is going to start with did, followed by the subject with the infinitive form of the verb and the complement. And pay attention again, we are using the infinitive form of the verb because we are using did. So the sentence will be, if I want to change it into a question, it's going to be, did she see her friends yesterday? So this is a quick revision for the simple past. As I told you, we use the simple past to talk about an action that happened and finished in the past. We use verb to in affirmative sentences, and if we want to change the sentence into the negative or into a question, we are going to use the helping verb, which is did, and did change the verb into its infinitive form. So we are going to use the infinitive form of the verb when we are using did. Now we are going to discuss the new tense for today's class, which is the past continuous. Before we start talking about the past continuous, let's discuss the following sentences. I was eating my lunch yesterday at 5 p.m. They were playing tennis. Was she cleaning her room yesterday morning? So if you paid attention to the verbs in these sentences, we are using verb to be, which is was or were, and we are adding ing to the verb, okay? So we have was eating, were playing, was she cleaning. In these sentences, we can understand that we are talking about an action that was happening for a long period of time in the past. So it was happening and it was continued for a long period in the past. Now, talking about the usage of the past continuous as we discussed in the sentences, we use the past continuous to talk about a continuous action that happened for a long period of time in the past. So as I told you, we use the past continuous to talk about an action that happened for a long period of time in the past. It was continuous. Let's discuss the form of the form of affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and questions. Before that, I want you to pay attention that we have a difference between singular subjects and plural subjects. So plural subjects differ from singular subjects when we are using the past continuous. First of all, we are going to start with the singular subjects. We are going to start a sentence as we used to with a subject, but pay attention that it is a singular one, like he, she, it, a student, the teacher. These are singular subjects, plus was and the verb ing with the complement. So we are using was with the verb ing for the singular. If I want to change it into negative, all you have to do is to add not to was. So it's going to be wasn't plus the verb ing. If I want to change it into a question, you have to switch between the subject and was. So it's going to start with was, following by the subject, verb ing, and the complement. So this is for the singular. For the singular, we are using was plus verb ing. Moving to the plural subjects, plural like we, you, they, students, teachers, books. These are plural nouns, okay? So if we have a plural noun, we are going to start the sentence with the subject and pay attention that it's plural one, followed by were plus verb ing with the complement. If I want to change it into the negative, all you have to do is to add not to were, so it's going to be weren't plus verb ing. If I want to change it into a question, switch between where and the subject, so it's going to be where subject verb ing with the complement. To make it more clear, let's take a look at these examples. So here we have singular, an example for a singular subject, and an example for a plural subject. Pay attention. So I'm going to start with the singular. She was studying math. Pay attention that she, singular, so I used was with the verb plus ing. I want to change the sentence into negative, which means that I want to add not to the sentence. She wasn't studying math. Was with not, it became wasn't, studying the verb plus ing as it is. So she was studying math, affirmative. Negative, she wasn't studying math. What about interrogative, a question? I want to change this sentence into a question. As I told you, switch between was and she. So it's going to be, was she studying math? So this is how I change the sentence into a question. Now let's move to the plural subject. The affirmative sentence is they were walking in the street. So they is a plural subject, so I'm going to use were with the verb plus ing. What about changing this sentence into the negative? It's going to be they weren't. I'm going to add not to were, so it's going to be they weren't walking in the street. If I want to change it into a question as we did in the singular, all you have to do is to switch between they and were, and the question will be were they walking in the street? So these are some examples for the past continuous. I hope that you got the idea. Now, this is an activity for you. Form a sentence that includes one of these objects using the past continuous. So if you take a look here, we have objects in this slide. You can use one of these objects to form a sentence using the past continuous. I'm going to give you an example which is related to this globe structure. Okay, so I'm going to say we were learning geography. Okay, so we were learning geography. Another example, I was watching TV. I was watching TV. And you can complete making sentences using these objects. After we discussed the past continuous and the simple past separately, we are going to start talking about using the past continuous and the simple past together. Let's discover how we can use the past continuous and the simple past in one sentence. We often use the past continuous with the simple past. Let's take a look at these examples. I was doing my homework when my mother came from her work. 2. We were playing football when my dad called us for dinner. 3. Sally was cleaning her room when her family left the house. So if you take a look in these sentences, we have connected two verbs using the word when, and these two verbs are in two different tenses. The first verb is was doing, and the second one here is came. Here we have were playing, and here we have called. Here we have was playing, and we have left. So we are joining two verbs with two different sentences by using the word when. If you paid attention, in the first verbs, we are using the past continuous. So we have was doing, were playing, was cleaning. So we have was and were with the verb plus ing. In the second verbs, we are using verb 2. We have came, called, left. So here we are using the past continuous, and here we are using the simple past. Verb 2 means simple past. Was or were plus verb plus the ing, it means past continuous. I have a question for you. Out of the meaning of these sentences, which action started first? Which is the longer one? Okay? Yes, excellent. The longer one is the one which is in the past continuous. So we started doing our homeworks, and I was doing my homework when my mother came. So I started doing my homework before my mother came. So was doing is the longer and is the action which started first. And we were playing football. We started playing football before dad called us. Before that, dad called us for dinner. So were playing is the longer action, and it is the action that started first. Also, in the last example, she was cleaning her room when her family left the house. So she started cleaning before her family left the house. So was cleaning is the longer action, and it happened first. For came, called, and left, which are in the simple past, these actions are the short actions, and these actions interrupted the long ones. They interrupted the long actions. Now, out of the examples, we can understand the following. The past continuous talks about a longer action which started first, and the past simple talks about a short action which happened during the longer one. As I told you, it interrupted the longer one, and we can make two actions into one sentence. We can have two verbs in one sentence by connecting them using the word when, by using when. Here is another example for you so you can understand the idea. We are talking about this boy, and the sentence is he was eating dinner when the phone rang. Let's work with this sentence on this timeline. So here we have the past part and here is the present. We are going to work with the past. So from 6 p.m. till a quarter past 6, the boy was eating his dinner. So this is the long action which is happening for a long period in the past. So from 6 p.m. till quarter past 6, he was eating his dinner. While he was eating, the phone rang. So the phone rang interrupted the verb was eating. All of these actions happened in the past, but one of them was a long action, which is the past continuous. He was eating, and it was interrupted by the short action, which is the phone rang, where we used the simple past. I hope that it is clear for you. Now let's practice these new ideas in your grammar book, page 31, exercise number 1. In this exercise, we have to read the sentences and to fill up with the past continuous verbs in the brackets. So complete the sentences, use the past continuous of the verbs in brackets. So before we start doing this exercise, I just want to remind you, if we are dealing with a singular subject, use was with verb plus ing. If we are dealing with a plural subject, use were plus verb ing. So number 2, I watch a DVD on my computer when it stopped working. 3, we travel on the bus when we saw the new shops. What you do when the phone rang? She shop when she lost her purse. You read a book when your headache started. I walk outside when it started to rain. You play football when you hurt your leg. So make sure that you know if the subject is singular or plural, and use the past continuous, which is was or were plus verb ing. Here is the answers of exercise 1 in your grammar book, page 30. Now let's move to exercise 2 in your grammar book, page 31. In this exercise, we have to read the sentences and tick the action that started first. As I told you, always the action that started first is the action which is in the past continuous. So let's take a look at the first example. I was watching television when the lights went off. So the long action is I was watching television. 2, it was raining when I went out. So the long action is it was raining. 3, we were walking through the town when I saw the new shop. We were walking through the town is the long action. 4, my mom was shopping when she met an old friend. Mom was shopping is the long action. Exercise 3 in your grammar book, page 31. In this exercise, we have to complete the sentences, use the past continuous or the past simple of the verbs in brackets. So, the verb which is before when, we are going to use past continuous. After when, you are going to use verb to, which is the simple past. Even before when, use was or were plus verb ing. After when, use verb to. Take a look at this example. I was painting a picture when my mobile rang. Number 2, George was using a hammer when he hit his hand. You can complete this exercise alone, then you can check your answers out of this presentation. For the homework, you have a homework which is exercise 4 in your grammar book, page 31. So exercise 4 in your grammar book, page 31 is a homework. In this exercise, you have to look at the pictures and to complete the sentences using the words from the books. We have the words: do his homework, make a poster, clean, talk loudly, read a book. Now we are going to move to a new idea, which is used to in your grammar book, pages 32 till 34. 32 till 34. Let's take a look at these examples. They used to wake up early every day, but now they don't. 2. She used to walk every day to get to her school, but now she goes by her father's car. 3. My mom used to cook lunch every day. So out of these examples, you can understand that we are talking about an action that someone used to do every day in the past, but now they don't. So they used to do this thing regularly in the past, but now they stopped doing it. They don't do it anymore. So let's move to the first example. They used to wake up early every day. So in the past, they woke up early, but now they don't wake up early. In the second example, she used to walk every day to get to her school, but now she goes by her father's car. So in the past, she walked every day to get to her school, but now in the present, she goes by her father's car. And the same for the second example. In the past, their mom used to cook lunch every day, which means that now she doesn't. So out of the example, we can understand that we use the structure of used to talk about an action that people used to do regularly in the past and now they don't do it anymore. Talking about the structure of using used to in a sentence, if we are talking about an affirmative sentence, as we used to, a sentence in English starts with a subject followed by used to with the infinitive form of the verb plus the complement. Take a look at these examples. She used to practice every day. Here is used to followed by the infinitive form of the verb. We can see that we used practice without any additions, as it is. So we used she used to practice every day. The second example, they used to clean their room in the weekends. This is for the affirmative sentence. We are going to use used to with the infinitive form of the verb. But about negative sentence, we are going to add not to the verb. We are going to use didn't use to. As I told you, when we want to change a sentence in the past into the negative, we are going to use did plus not. So subject didn't use to with the infinitive form of the verb plus the complement. So let's take a look at the examples. She didn't use, pay attention that it is use without ed. She didn't use to practice every day. They didn't use to clean their room in the weekends. As I told you, if you remember, when we use did, we said that did is a selfish word. It does not allow for any word to be in the past except her, okay? Only did is in the past. The rest of the words are going to go to their infinitive or to their base form without any additions. That's why we used use. She didn't use to practice. They didn't use to clean. What about changing the sentence into a question, interrogative? We are going to start our question with did, followed by the subject, used to, because we have did, we are going to use used to with the infinitive form with the verb plus the complement. So the examples are: did she use to practice every day? Use, pay attention. Did they use to clean their room in the weekends? So here is the structure of used to. In the affirmative, we are going to use used to with the infinitive sentence. Negative, didn't use to with the infinitive form of the verb. Interrogative, did followed by the subject, used to with the infinitive form of the verb. Now let's do exercises to practice used to. I am in your grammar book, page 32. We are going to start with exercise 5, where we have to tick the correct answer. Okay, here we go. 1. Mom used to go to a drama club, which means now she doesn't go. So the correct one is Mom doesn't go to a drama club now, because she used to. In the past, she used to. Now she doesn't go to a drama club. Number 2. Dad didn't used to be a policeman. So in the past, he wasn't a policeman. So in the past, Dad was a policeman. In the past, Dad wasn't a policeman. The correct one is in the past, Dad wasn't a policeman. 3. People used to drop a lot of rubbish in the park, which means now they don't drop rubbish. So people drop a lot of rubbish in the park now? No. The correct one is people don't drop a lot of rubbish in the park now. Moving to 4. I used to drink a lot of fruit juice. Is the sentence means in the past I drank a lot of fruit juice, or I drink a lot of fruit juice now? The correct one is in the past I drank a lot of fruit juice, because we used to. Let's move to exercise 6 in page 33 in your grammar book. In this exercise, we have to match from 1 to 6 with A to F. Number 1, I ride a bike now. With A, I used to walk everywhere. 2, grandma's hair is gray. With C, it used to be black. 3, we go to France for our holidays. With F, we used to go to Spain. You can complete alone and check your answers out of this presentation. Moving to exercise 7, where we have to complete the sentences, use words from the books and used to. We have the words in the books are drive the car, come from fossil fuels, watch TV, drink coffee, drop rubbish, do no exercise, eat meat, be more animals. So number 1, Dad takes the bus to work now. Dad used to drive the car. 2, Mom drinks tea now. Mom used to drink coffee. 3, we have salad for dinner now. We used to eat meat. 4, the park is very clean now. People used to drop rubbish. You can complete the rest of the examples alone and check your answers from this presentation. To exercise 8, in exercise 8, look at the underlined sentences in exercise 7 and write negative sentences. So the sentences in exercise 7 which are underlined, we are going to change them into the negative in this exercise. Take a look at the first example. Dad did not used to take the bus to work. In 2, we have the sentence Mom drinks tea now. Mom did not used to drink tea. 3. We have salad for dinner now. We did not used to have salad for dinner. 4. The park is very clean now. The park didn't used to be very clean. You can complete the rest of the examples alone and check your answers out of this presentation. So what we are doing in this exercise, we are changing the sentences in exercise 7 into the negative. The underlined sentences, we are changing them into the negative. Your homework is exercise 9 and 10 in your grammar book, page 34. So you have the homework for today's class, exercise 9 and 10 in your grammar book, page 34. In exercise 9, you have to write questions and short answers, use used to, and exercise 10, write the words in the correct order to make sentences and the questions, use used to or used to. This is the end of our grammar fourth unit. I hope that you can understand all the ideas that were explained in this presentation. If you have any question, you can send me your questions on our channel in the Microsoft Teams. Don't forget to do your homeworks and to send them to me. This is it for today, and thank you.